because if you have a new type of data set, and if you have new types of tasks, it might be very difficult to anticipate what you actually need interactively in order to solve a specific task you haven't seen yet. Right. So therefore, it might be much easier to say, okay, you have the data set, you also have all the tasks, the queries, whatever, and then you can start and build your thing. Whereas even if I give you a few examples, then you would need to anticipate the wealth, the possible universe of queries, which already for LSC is sometimes difficult when you come up with a new way of phrasing things and say, oh yeah, but this is only answerable because of this type of information I never considered. And even though it was always there, nobody ever looked at it because it was never used. So therefore I would really emphasize the asynchronous part of this for new stuff, and if we want to do interactive things, then they should be reasonably close to things people are already familiar with, right? Because we see with VBS and LSC how high the barrier of entry already is. And if we then say, okay, we're not going to do something that is more complicated than this, or even at least more new, there's completely clean slate. And the people at this table will not have a lot of time to actually
people at this
participate in this.
Nobody does it, right?
Yeah. Because because everybody here is involved in actually building the back end of this, so there's not going to be participating teams that are sitting here.
TPC chair, you know.
Yeah, this too, right? But this is an independent problem. But even saying, look, everybody here is probably out of participating because of conflict of interest and because we might already know the ground truth because we have been there.
That is a problem.
So that already cuts out a whole swath of people who already have the experience with this sort of stuff.
So it has to be easy.
It has to have the task can be difficult to do, but it should not have it should not be difficult to attempt.
So how would you design the asynchronous part? It would still be interactive, and we would still give rules of time limit, or
I would essentially have tasks where we do not specify very closely how people solve them, and just do the classic. Look, here's a bunch of queries. Here's how we're going. Here's the format you're supposed to present the results in. Here's the metrics we're going to use. You have 3 months.
Yeah.
Go.
And you have a limit. Like, let's say you do an interactive task, you have a limit of 3 minutes per task.
Well, not even necessarily, right? Because you can. Drakvid also did this. You can just say you have to specify how you did it, and then we say if you have a thing that is completely automated that does not require any human input, then it goes into one bucket. If you have a thing that was human machine collaboration, it goes into another bucket. And then you're supposed to report, of course we cannot precisely validate this, but you're supposed to report the time, the number of rounds, or whatever is applicable for your approach. Again, this needs to be somewhat broad because people might have very different approaches to do this. But ultimately everybody just generates a rank ordered list of results or whatever fits the actual
or the answer if we do question answer.
Yes, or a string or an integer value if it or something like this, and then we will evaluate this in a maybe fully automated. If we just have a ground truth we can compare it to, maybe a judged, and then we do all this pooling stuff.
We probably have to do a pooling because the data is going to be too big.
I mean, for some, I can think of some types of tasks. So, for example, if you, and this is something I alluded to yesterday. I'm already having sneakily repositioning stuff all around the house. So there are some things, and I'm not going to go into more details because otherwise I'm going to giving away the task.
Was that cacao powder?
No, not the cacao powder.
And not the chocolate?
Also not the chocolate.
The banana?
that might also be a type of where was the thing kind of task.
Yeah.
Because then there is we actively interacted with the thing. There's also some things you're probably not going to interact with, but that if you look back at the video, you will notice that it was there, but you probably haven't paid attention to it. And now everybody's looking.
Yeah, of course.
I'm extremely bad in that.
I'm
Can
gonna
I replace it now? And
Yes, I'm gonna tell you eventually. Right, but essentially, okay. Tell me all the locations where that thing was across the time, right? And then it's somewhat automatable.
And you've got a record, right?
I have notes.
Notes, that's enough. That's good enough.
That's very interesting for this virtual forensic stuff that Zeno and colleagues do at Netherlands Forensic Institute. They have this virtual forensic lab and so on. And I think this is kind of going a little bit also touching sister communities, I have to say.
I mean, the other thing is you have the receipts from shopping, so you know how much stuff we bought of which things.
Yes. Oh, that too. That's also
You should record
interesting.
them, yes.
That's also
I
interesting.
have a photocopy of them all, or
Yeah.
picture of them all.
Yeah.
Not
Except
quite
your-
on
except your
the
big
very long
big
one.
yeah.
Yes.
So with the video camera.
And what the stuff you bought today
because
is not
then you
on.
have it as a hidden
I have
ground
it
truth.
on the camera.
Yes. If it's not on the
Yeah,
camera,
okay,
then you have
yeah,
it
It
as
strikes
hidden
me
ground.
that is a very nice hackathon task. The diet. Generate the recipe book.
Yeah,
That's a simple hackathon task.
yeah,
that we
and
can
I think
actually
this is what I meant before.
That might
like
also be
there
a
is
challenge to
work
us, though,
on.
because that can be
That can be
ground truth.
evaluated,
Oh,
yeah,
we
because
can
we
evaluate.
We have to.
this.
So we actually have to make our own recipe book again after
What
this.
what I
with
what I would
details.
also like to do, what I think would be interesting more for maybe the computer vision focused people, is if I brought the camera, right, and I'm gonna take some pictures later, and we can release some of those pictures, but not others, and then say, okay, what did the camera see? Reconstruct the image based on, you have a bunch of other cameras, you can reconstruct the scene, because at least much of the environment doesn't change all that much, so you can probably generate a very accurate 3D reconstruction of the environment. And I'm just gonna, you get a few training images to learn the properties of the camera. And it's like, okay, what was the focal length? What are the sensor properties? Yada yada yada. And then we have the images, and then I can even do a just pixel-based. How accurate was the reconstruction?
I like that.
It's great.
I also brought a thermal camera that we can
Yeah,
take
you
some.
said that.
It's very low res, and
Yeah,
it only
usually.
does pictures. But we can run around with this and
Yeah.
take some pictures and see if that gives something interesting.
Can I just I'm thinking about another one that we did once, and it's funny. So you have Google Street View for most of the cities, but in Amsterdam many years ago we started thinking with the city. When I say city, Chief Technology Office and Data Lab, it's a bit risky, to use commercial products, because at some point they even change the terms of service, or they start charging insanely high, So Amsterdam has own panorama vehicles, like many cities. You capture them with moving cars, or even from the boats, there are cameras mounted there, and you kind of stitch them into omnidirectional panorama. So interesting, we used it for some things, aside that you need to anonymize it properly and so on, but we used it for obvious stuff that our community would use, detecting objects in a public space, monitoring state of assets, like in garbage we even did, and so on and so on. But the catch is, so now comes interesting thing. So in a big organization like a municipality of that size, you have 50 to 80 departments, and they have all product owners and so on, managers basically, and if they find it interesting enough, to incorporate this into their pipelines, then it can be expanded and so on, and it can actually save costs on many things. So the city organized once a hackathon. I was in a jury, and that was really interesting. So on the first day come people from different kind of departments, and one is basically monitoring state of the advertisements in a public space. It's kind of you have to pay a tax to put anything in a public space as an advertisement. Apparently, in many cities, people just like hang something,
Right.
hoping nobody's gonna see. And there are even strict regulations on, for example, light pollution. You know, like if you put a light symbol there, well, it may be preventing people from sleeping. You know, like, and so on. So anyhow, the head of department came and he was really like, "Hey, look, there are these panoramas, but we have no idea what they can be used for, and we are totally willing to invest this much and this much. You know, like if we see kind of evidence that you can reliably detect automatically all the advertisements in public space." So there comes another person that says, "Oh, if you can show us this and this." So there were like 5-6 people that came, and for 2 days people were busy really, and actually they were even kind of sometimes describing it very vaguely, but they were like really, hey, there must be something that we are not seeing there, because otherwise we would be probably using it. If you find something useful in it, when it comes to advertisement and so on, please also let us know. So, but I'm going with this one. We have this data now, so for a hackathon, I think it would be handy to give some guidelines, kind of give some ideas. Hey, look, invite some people from our community that have been working on food, like Tatseng, Chongwach, and so on and so on. They kind of say, hey, look, this is what community has been doing. Some people that were doing this could be in this direction, doesn't have to be the same, you know, like, and then give some other hints what people use it for. Recipes, you know, like there is this 1 million recipe, you know. We attempted to cook Asian food in Ireland, but I'm quite sure and it tasted great, but it's probably not the original ingredients. So what did we get?
Close enough.
Close enough, yeah, but close enough. That's really great. What did you replace with what? You know? So I think that kind of stuff, and then kind of that's hackathon. And I think for Grand Challenge, at least I think we need to keep some interaction, because if you look what most of the people do, like in NeurIPSy, Cyclears, computer vision conferences, and so on, it's mostly fully automatic stuff. And this is like sports event. It's fun. It's I think that's some kind of joy that we are bringing to the table of a conference, any conference.
Absolutely, but then again, interactive has a high barrier of entry, so it should not be exclusive.
Yeah, I think what's coming out from the conversation is there's an asynchronous task and there's a synchronous task.
Yeah.
The asynchronous task is going to be lower barrier to entry. Any student in any university that can get his hands on 20 terabytes or her hands on 20 terabytes of disk space can process the data set, can process 24 queries or whatever we decide to do, send in results, pool relevant judgments, submission back, whatever, right answers back, results back. And those that want to do the interactive element will come to the actual conference definitely, right? And they will take part in an interactive Grand Challenge, which is part of the conference. That's why they asked us to do it, right? They wanted the VBS and the LSE
and they need more interaction.
Yeah.
Like we forgot that one. Like that was the thing. Multimodality, agents, interaction. That's like basically 3 cornerstones.
So if we take it back to the simplest thing, there's a ad hoc and there's a Q&A set, right? And then we lead to an synchronous challenge, which is ad hoc and Q&A, maybe something else thrown in there, people know well in advance. And that's the first year. And next year we use the same data set, do it again with a grander set of challenges for people. That does look at the recipe creation or whatever it is we decide we want to do. But we get it kicked off where we can show the success by having, what is success, 10 participants?
Yeah,
That's success
I
for
mean,
us.
ideally this would then also grow over time,
Yes.
because there's a lot of data that, well, there's a lot of data augmentation that can be done.
Yes.
Right.
So ideally what I would like to see at some point, which should be very doable for a large fraction of time. So most of us are going to be visible by at least one camera most of the time. We have a trajectory that can be reconstructed just based on the sensor streams that should be on this. So you should not only be able to have the position of every person in time, you could also do the full pose reconstruction, have all the skeleton control points. So you essentially can back project the people into the space, how they were posing, and then do this for all the action-y things, interacty things. Even if people want to do robot-y things, right? You at least have a armature, how did people interact with stuff. But this is not necessarily very difficult from a technology, or at least from a science point of view, right? So methods to do this exist. It is just going to be work. to actually do this.
But is that a
So we will
CBBR
probably not.
brand challenge then?
Yeah, so we're not going to release this in February with a high fidelity annotated skeleton post things, because even if somebody wanted to do this, it would just take some time.
But
to
wouldn't this be something someone could do for the hackathon?
Yes,
Yes.
yes, something
Yes,
like this. I would
absolutely. But
totally put
just
something
bear in
like this
mind
on the list.
The hackathon
I mean-
focus was healthcare slash
Okay,
wellness.
yeah, yeah.
Yes, but even
No,
even
we
I mean,
We can do two, right?
Post reconstruction is a number of healthcare applications.
Motion of somebody, motion of an elderly person around the home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's social interaction, healthcare.
We need to
mental
stop knocking
health.
people over on some
But
ground.
right.
I don't
Sanity checking.
think you wanna go there.
Social interaction.
yes, no,
Meaning,
absolutely.
think of us, you know, like.
But I guess for the
Evaluate the average sanity over
For
time.
the hackathon, I would even keep it
don't
more
think you
open
got
and
Yes.
say, look,
Yeah.
this is the broad topic. These are some possible things we have come up with that
Yes.
we think would be interesting. You are supposed to, if you want to participate, sign up, propose a team,
Right.
propose a task, and probably we will just accept everything that is sensible,
We'd be happy to.
and as long as we have the capacity, and then our hackathon chairs are going to figure out all the rest, and possibly maybe we can get somebody to sponsor a best hackathon
Conference
something.
sponsor, right? Yeah. Sponsored by ACM Multimedia 2025.
I mean, one thing I was thinking also, I mean, for this tutorial on XR search, one insight was basically there's work on mixed reality search engines like they do at Basel, but there is no way of evaluating them. So
That's
this
fair.
could also be one thing. Like, I mean, I was thinking you have a lot of things happening in the kitchen. So you could be in a real kitchen where you have items that you could use as query objects.
Mhm.
So this could also be an exploration of like how would you set up a comparative interactive environment in which you test XR or MR search, right? Which is really something that's not there yet.
Totally.
Which is interesting enough because there's commercial interest in actually building such
Yeah,
things,
yeah.
and there's, I mean, it's very wild west these days, right? There's
Yeah.
people trying all these sort of things. It's very niche at this point in time, but ubiquitous computing has been a buzzword for a while, and it is cooking
Yeah.
up every once in a while. So I would not be surprised if there would be more commercial interest within the next few years to really try and put products into people's
Yeah.
hands. I don't know to what degree these products are driven by needs, or to what degree this is driven by what can we currently actually make work.
Yeah, of course, it's also like always like having a new feature for every release of another generation of devices,
Yeah.
of course, because just saying, okay, there is now a few 100,000 pixels more again. At some point, it's not the most catchy argument. So you
we've
need-
run out of things you can
Yeah,
perceive,
yeah.
right? So
Or
Okay, so what's the next steps? Somebody writes down what we came up with, and we have it.
Right.
One is document. Everything is documented.
well, I mean, everything is yes. Everything is
Another suggestion, maybe, just a small one, to spice it up. We started thinking of spice it up, actually. Hey, there was this article, you know, like speaking of this pseudo psychology, you know, like about organizational theories and so on. Have you seen a?
Well, you told me about this, yes.
You take a sheet of paper, you literally salt it, you smash it right away, and it reduces your stress. It was very well known in some journals of dubious science. So this would be yeah, actually unbelievable, but okay. So what I was thinking, you mentioned that I just read an article, I couldn't believe it. It's actually some very well known names that made it. So putting a pepper on me maybe reduces my stress. But do the salt and then anyway, and for yourself as well.
Yeah.
So what I was aiming at, somebody mentioned that we are going to be familiar with the data set and a process. People around us also a little bit more, you know, right? Because you tell colleagues, friends, you know. for a hackathon, maybe it could be a good idea to assign to each team that applies, and we ask people to apply beforehand, a shepherd, somebody who's this or that way involved. And we kind of also organize it as a competition, meaning that shepherd is going to be guiding the team. You see where I'm going? And helping them make the best out of what they want, not really telling them what to do, but kind of trying to squeeze. I see some fronts, probably not a good idea. I was thinking, let's say Werner takes team A from Tsinghua, and Kahal takes a team from...
You're doing it like American Idol or so. Like
This is
something like that, yeah. Why not?
No,
it's an interesting approach. I like the idea. I'm a bit worried about its implementation because many people on this table are going to be very busy these days, especially during the time of that hackathon.
Yeah, we won't have any. Actually, half the people here won't have any spare time during that hackathon. Actually, you won't either.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair,
Because it's going to be in a weekend, is it?
We should ideally have some time during that hackathon, because if we are busy running around, then something went horribly wrong.
Well, in most cases, it's the general chairs that will be busy handing out whiskies and stuff during the conference. So you guys should actually have an enjoyable week in reality, so you will have time to do stuff.
well, I guess before the hackathon, it could be in the preparation phase. It could be light involvement, and I guess someone needs to be there anyway during the hackathon. So, I think this shepherding idea could work. I'm not sure, because you said putting it more like a competition. I don't think. I mean, there might be very different ideas, so you can't really compare them. So
more of a jury kind of.
Which is okay. The TPC co-chairs will only be really busy in June, right? Chasing down 1,000 missing reviews or something.
Oh man, but program and all the things.
The program stuff will happen in July, right? Once you know all you'll have lots of time.
So much time. You will not know what to do with.
You will have 4 weeks during the conference.
Okay, remember, there's one thing we have to keep in mind. Whatever we decide to do for the hackathon, poor Vincent will be under pressure to replicate it next year. So this is, it rolls on.
Yeah, not your worry.
I'm entirely convinced that this is our immediate problem, because we need to make it first. We need to make it work the first time.
We need to make it attractive, but all of them do it simply take part and not take part.
Change, so.
But I think some kind of reconstruction, data augmentation, make it very flexible. You can propose some health-related topics like recipe, sanity checking. I don't know, if you can evaluate, if you have ways to evaluate, public mental health, can you apply them and give people sanity ratings and see whether there's a decline across the days of the workshop? No, whatever you want, right? It's
anything left to decline.
What's also interesting is all these. If you look at what people do with this,
forgot my sensor.
Tracking of elderly homes, I was mentioning. Are people, for example, classic question.
I mean, you can do the proxy task. I mean, this is the drug I'm supposed to take to keep me alive. So did I get my level of
your vital dose of caffeine?
Exactly.
But it all ties in with the recipe generation. What did you put in the meals? The amount of consumption that each individual person has done. Can we pull that out of the 2 cameras?
Did we get a variety of nutritional ingredients?
It's such a nice data set.
Allergy warnings.
We have to at least get 2 years out of this data set before we make a new one.
I think that's
Bigger and longer.
Yeah.
With bigger SD cards.
with bigger, more everything. I think this is something that is on the agenda for later in the week to see what if we had infinite time and infinite money.
Yeah. Well, this was done on a massive budget. That's why we're at the end of the world. If we had done this in Wicklow beside Dublin, short drive, access to more facilities close by, but it would have been double the price. So we had a rough envelope of 10,000.
Yes, and I mean these things
we haven't had those already, right?
These things are nice. They're not. If we had designed this from scratch, this would look different, right? But
then I would have had to have 20,000. Because I would have had to put together something.
Yeah.
We happen to have these.
no, if we had designed this from scratch, you're talking quite a bit more. But
We can always ask.
We could get this police body cams and
Well,
so on.
we thought about
worse.
strapping these on here, right? We thought
this
about
was
this.
this was the
We
first.
didn't do it.
This was the first idea we had. So just
In fact,
do
you
the-
still
do
like
the-
that idea.
Do the harness. Do the harness.
Yeah.
The problem with the harness, if I have the camera here, and I do this, right?
Yeah.
I
Ali's
can
not there, but the
already
camera's there, right?
move my eyes, and you will have no idea where I'm looking at. But at
Yeah,
least
but
if I
you are
move,
gonna-
at
We'll
least
mount
if
the
I
eyeball next
if I move my head, at least you see what I'm looking at.
If somebody builds a
Eyeball mounted cameras.
detector built in,
I mean, honestly, they're like fairly compact sensors for eye tracking.
Yeah.
I mean, not like the one we have in the other room.
No, but
certainly-
there's things that could be done
if Luca has a lot of time
if
to
it's
build it,
if it's feasible. I'm not.
Is there some
electrical
mixed
engineer, so
reality
this is,
stuff, right?
There's
Like-
probably if
Everybody
you
gets a
actually
Vision
need to do this.
Electrical engineer.
glasses frames, 2 cameras, eye tracking with movement.
Right.
It can all be done.
It can be done, yes.
Battery pack.
To be fair, even in this like version, as long as there are 2 people sort of facing each other, there should be a way to reconstruct
This is definitely also some data augmentation thing I
Right.
would want to do, right? If I look at you, can I reconstruct based on your feed where your point of attention was at any point in time?
Exactly.
Given
yes.
your given
Yeah.
that
And
I
that can be
see-
such
yes.
a cool
Yeah.
task.
Yeah.
Actually, estimation from another person's another point of view.
Yeah.
Which couple? I think your camera is also a little bit high.
Is it?
Can we reconstruct everything in
can
the,
we just like do one thing, because
Yeah.
Klaus now asked me what did we finally conclude, so actually also no,
Did we finally conclude?
so just like for a catch and also for basically
think
maybe it becomes a
that
task.
is
Can we now summarize? This is what we think now grand challenge is roughly going to be, just as a summary, if somebody can kind of repeat this grand challenge, this is going to be hector.
Better.
Bit high. Still.
Still a little bit high, but
for-
the screen's not on, so I can't.
So
see.
guys,
Yeah.
summary coming.
I think this is better, yeah.
Everybody look at Luca.
No, but I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like that for the actual challenge, we can have several subtasks that. So I mean, first to tracks the interactive thing, that stuff is happening there on site, and the more traditional, you send us results, we're going to tell you how well you did. Non-interactive stuff. For the former, it will probably have to be reasonably similar to the 2 interactive challenges we've already been doing. So have some instance retrieval and have some question answering with a human in the loop.
And we would like to attract VPS teams and LSC teams,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And we will do judging maybe with a few people from here.
Yes.
Similar.
So,
Yes,
so
perfect,
from
perfect. We are
a
the judges,
setup
yes.
point of view, from an infrastructure point of view, also how the tasks are designed, how the tasks are presented, it would be the exact same thing as a VBS and
So
LSC.
then it could later go to the VPS and LSC, but for the first
Yes,
time,
we might
Yes,
even
Asia Multimedia.
push
Asia Multimedia.
push this
Yeah.
into one of those,
Yeah.
possibly, which makes the communication to the people reasonably easy. I mean, what we might want to do anyway is just write a brief. If you have never heard of VPS and LSC, this is how it works kind of document. which we're missing anyway. So
Yeah,
onboarding for new
yeah.
teams is hard because you essentially have to chronologically read a decade of publications to see how the stuff actually works. But that would be the interactive part. And then there's a bunch of logistics we need to figure out, but this is essentially just work. So this is not difficult.
And for non-interactive, we could do almost the same tasks, but asynchronously.
Yes.
Yeah.
Plus more stuff.
Yeah.
Right. So some of the things that we've said that we can actually evaluate that are different type of tasks, as in reconstruct this view from this point. So I actually took the picture, but I'm not showing you the picture.
Also, point of view, like region of interest / salient objects or eye gaze from another person's point of view.
That might be difficult to evaluate because we don't have the ground
Yeah.
truth.
Yeah.
So this is more of a hackathon kind of thing.
Yeah. Or
Because there we can
Preparing
look,
it
there
for
we can
future
look
years,
at it
yeah.
and see if it is reasonable. But if two teams submit something similar, we don't have a
Yeah.
precise metric to see how good is this, because otherwise somebody would actually need
Yeah.
to have the eye tracker. Right. So these would be the so that definitely the question answering the instance retrieval stuff in both tracks.
Yeah.
And the non-interactive would have additional tracks for reconstruction-y things that you could not reasonably do interactively. That also would not necessarily need human input because it's more of an algorithmic.
Like recipes or something that we could.
Yes,
Fine.
regenerate this
Yeah,
recipe.
yeah.
Regenerate this schedule for this person.
Right, yeah.
Count the number of this person did this type or on this day this kind of action was performed.
Right.
This sort of thing. This is still sort of kind of question answering. I would really want to do the visual reconstruction thing for the also so the computer vision people also have an interesting task. Things like that, right?
So just thinking about the reconstruction, maybe something we should do while we're here is taking measurements of all the rooms as a ground truth.
Yes.
Is there a blueprint of the house?
Well,
I doubt they'll give us.
I mean-
It's a bit funny. I might get a measuring tape on Friday morning. Yeah.
Well,
Cahal, that must be if they were selling it. There must be a floor plan. In the Netherlands,
Yes,
at
I'm
least
just
you'll
thinking
find
what
for
happens
houses.
when I
I'm not sure
contact
how
them
the
and say,
furniture is honestly.
"Thank you for the week in your home. It was wonderful. Have you got the floor plans and the measurements?" Already, I'm thinking, "Oh, today it's going to be out there with all their beautiful furniture in it." If I ask for any more, I'm a little bit hesitant to ask for that. I'd rather we just take our measurements.
Yeah.
To be fair, I think most modern smartphones can do reasonably accurate
Yes.
measurements.
Yeah.
So we can probably just do it ourselves without.
There is a hardware store in the Super Value, so we would have that.
We could get a automatic vacuum cleaner to generate the floor plan.
I mean, you presumably as long as we have a reference object that we know the precise dimensions
True,
of,
yeah.
everything else
Yeah,
could technically
yeah.
be reconstructed based on.
That dartboard.
Yeah.
I was more thinking about something that is properly like
Stable. And,
well, has a pattern on it that you can
knowing-
actually calibrate the camera and
Cahal, you
Dartboard.
will need to walk through the
Things.
house with this milk carton. I'm sorry.
things like that. But I mean, or just you can do essentially volumetric reconstruction just based on all these images.
Yeah, no, it's just about like if you want to make it useful, it's a data set. It's
Yes.
also good
The
to
more
have a
stuff we have, the
ground
better,
truth,
right? Okay. Okay, so do you have a plan for thinking about this, and tomorrow we kind of finalize what that looks like?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess for the hackathon we discussed a bunch of things that would be interesting, so it might be good. I don't have the agenda we came up with on the top of my head,
I'm just running a list of tasks.
but it might
It's on
be
the
good
fridge.
if everybody also thinks about.
You have the summary up first day? Something?
What do you mean?
Like video or something?
Yeah, I have some metadata
You have the big thing
of
on,
the
Yeah, this is
video,
different. This is different. Should we have
I'll come to some of the results from yesterday in a
Okay.
bit.
No, taking.
should we have a viewing of some of the data from yesterday?
Viewing on the day.
Viewing, probably not.
Of the funniest things that happened yesterday.
If I don't have that technology.
Okay, before we get up, I want to draw the list of tasks that everybody should be kind of doing it over the course of this time, right?
Right.
So we have cooking, we know that already, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's cooking something. Everybody's cleaning after cooking, right? Everybody should be doing the reading experiment. All along will chase you down.
Can you try later if it makes a difference?
Again, chase with
Let's not all do the reading experiments on Friday afternoon, right?
No, no.
It's not the most fun.
Try to
element.
get as many people as you can today.
20 minutes.
20 minutes.
Okay.
Yes.
Everybody has to
reading, you said.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Read.
I mean, if
a book.
Allowed?
if it's.
I was doing reading aloud.
Yeah, but the should be the guideline. Do you want others to read aloud?
It doesn't matter,
Probably
right?
not going to be done.
I'm just thinking, what's the
But
benefit
it might
of reading
be-
it? Read aloud.
To a
I
point.
mean, why not? It's extra data, right?
Then get some
But-
audience.
But
Read out loud.
yeah, imagine you have a kid there.
No, but then I will read the Vietnamese.
Yeah, no, but the thing is,
Yeah.
We've already done the Christmas tree.
that it's not a problem with the USB connection. So
Everybody
we can-
should at
we
least
can
try to make noise
look
on
at
the
it
guitar,
afterwards.
right?
All right.
Noise on guitar. I won't call it music. On guitar.
So, do we have a printer in the house?
No.
No. Okay.
Um,
And I need some cord. I'll rig up some cord pictures for
We're
me.
getting the third laptop.
Yes,
But I can
I
can
will
put
set
a.
up that
Or
device later.
One of the helpers can do it, right? Just need to.
No, we can do. This is a task. We can do. I will set this
That's all.
machine up later today.
Okay, so this is
With
reading
chords.
music.
That's all.
We will
With chords, guitar chords.
with Ubuntu, and then you can do whatever you want.
Install
Install.
It directly boots into some MIDI thing.
Yeah.
Not everybody can do laundry, so I'm doing laundry and somebody else can do laundry.
Yes. Install some musical qualifications.
Train.
Okay, so games. And games will be multiple. We have wooden block game,
Oh yeah, that
excuse me, wooden block tower game.
wooden block.
Well,
Tower.
depends on if it's tower game or
That's
just blocks.
Well, there's a tower in there right now, and it's very impressive that it's still standing.
Yes. But the question is, how many blocks can you pull down off that tower before it collapses?
It looks like one.
Yeah, exactly. No, it looks like zero, right? Before it collapses.
You might be able to
The
take
top.
the topmost.
Yes, maybe.
Game, but,
Yeah. But aside that,
yeah.
Buckaroo.
what?
Chess.
Buckaroo game.
Buckaroo? What's the Buckaroo game?
It's in there. It's
Chess,
the one where you
Connect
put the things on the Connemara pony and it shows
Oh,
poker. Proper poker.
What is proper poker?
Dublin
Dublin
rules.
Okay, and chess.
that's guns on the table, or?
Everything's in on the table, yeah. Chess. Connect 4.
I didn't play chess since elementary school. Is
You
it gonna
should
be
have-
funny if
The
I play
rules
with
are
you?
same.
Darts.
Darts.
Stefan, you play
This
against
is
me,
the
same
chess
for me.
Chess
Yes.
or equivalent.
I'm not joking.
Finally, a worthy opponent, somebody who plays at my level.
What is What's the
that's gonna
equivalent
be
of chess
hilarious.
that you have here?
Drafts. You take the Connect 4 pieces and you play drafts with it.
Google rules.
It's
It's an easier game than
That
chess.
machine is.
People will be feel less stressed.
Checkers?
Okay, drawing.
it's similar.
We need a chess program.
It's
Draw a
similar to
picture.
check.
Suggest
It's similar to
the next
checker,
I mean, we
right?
can
Paper
make
planes?
Writing, connect
Draw-
4.
Drawing with what? You don't have pencils. You don't have.
We've got colored
Whoever
markers.
first
We've got
opens the
30
webpage with some.
Oh, I didn't get
basic
anything. That's why I
tactics
had
is
to
probably
paint
gonna
it.
be best.
What?
She painted a picture with enamel paint used for
Yes, but this is much nicer because the others are
what was that? What was the other thing we said?
Origami, there was
Origami.
one. Paper airplanes.
Plane.
I would want some colors. Please.
yes. You have.
There's the
colours.
darts.
Colours you will not be able to achieve.
The long game.
Long game,
Yes.
darts, long
Not only
game.
that, you have to at the end of the day.
Yes.
Is that it?
This is
Thesis?
Quizzes. No. Thesis. Please do thesis.
I have somebody handing up a thesis this week if you want to read it. You're very welcome.
That's the reading.
Reading task. Somebody please read News PhD. The happy quiz. Anything else?
I think that's it.
I think that's enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. About 20.
Teach somebody a card game.
Teach how to
Uno.
I wanna learn poker because I also didn't play that one since.
But don't learn from her. She will take all your money while you're learning.
Dublin rules.
I wanna learn any poker.
But definitely, if you have a thing
I
that
will
you
show
can
you.
teach other people, that would be
It's
very
much less
interesting.
complicated.
So I taught Klaus a card game earlier.
You get all your cards.
Yeah.
You're allowed to change one. You go. Simple.
Okay.
5 cards. Oh, I want to go to this one. Take another card. Thank you. Show your cards.
Until you have a
Oh.
very bad
That's
result.
not poker.
It's poker. It's proper.
No.
Well, it's a version of poker. Yes.
Okay, and how many rounds of betting are there?
What's the rule? What's the
You
rule?
just keep going until you finish.
So,
No.
do you
But,
know the
like,
normal rule?
Yes, you
of
still
poker?
bet with chips, right?
Yes.
I used to know,
But like,
no.
so you
I
get
will
your
raise
cards.
you
I
50.
haven't played it.
Yeah,
in
no.
And you'll match me.
ages.
So
And
you
you'll
try
raise
to
me.
get
However
some
many
I'll
patterns.
raise you.
Okay,
Eventually you stop.
Do you try to get some patterns?
But it should be
out
around
of
before you
five
switch your card and then after you switch your card.
Pairs and
Yes,
three
that would be more
and-
His
interesting.
version is that you get 5 cards at once.
But do you have a
Their
round of
version
betting
is that
before you
have
switch
2
cards and then
on your
after?
own and two-
No, we normally do
and
after.
the
We can
other
do it before- we can do it- we can do
5
both,
cards
right?
It will be
on
more
the
interesting with
Yeah.
before.
I think I was playing that one.
Okay. Because
That's
they-
proper poker.
The only one I know is
But
Dublin
the
rule.
thing is that the sets.
Look,
the sets
We
that
play
you
proper
bought-
poker. You play some Texas poker thing.
No, but the thing is like the
Yeah.
sets on the set, there was slots
So-
for the cards, so
Okay.
they were playing according to
We'll
the
play
sets.
snap.
Snap.
What is snap?
Whoever gets a matching card. Snap.
Ah, yes.
It's actually good fun.
Hey, so
you're 12.
that Dublin poker.
We'll do Dublin poker.
Yeah.
All along, you're in.
Sure.
Dublin rules.
Sure.
Very good. So basically,
Okay,
it's
so
fun if you
poker-
get a card,
proper
you
poker
can
is already in there, yes.
get new
Proper
cards.
poker.
We play proper poker.
Yes.
But that means your credit card is out.
What was
Your
it?
credit card goes on the table.
The wallets and-
I got to put it on the
That's
fridge.
open.
Right? The only thing, not everybody can actually do laundry, but everybody can do cleaning.
Mm.
Sleep in the house, you mean?
Everybody is expected to clean up after 2 meals. Right? Over the course of
Okay.
the time. That's reasonable.
I can do cleaning now. I didn't do
You
cleaning.
cooking? No, you
Yeah,
cooked.
you're
No,
cooking.
you're
Yeah, you
the
cook to
chef.
clean.
You're the breakfast chef every
described.
day apparently now, so.
Self-appointed, plus helping with lunches.
So who is
Did
lunch?
you get the rolling pin when you were shopping?
We didn't, but we got a very tightly wound aluminium foil.
I was kind of afraid that you would say that, but okay. Sure.
No,
Make
it
that
was
work.
it was the cheapest one, so it was really, really small. It's perfect.
Yeah.
We can make
Yeah,
can make that
yeah.
work.
Yeah.
Just that.
We that was a decision taken. Yeah.
Well,
That's a wrong decision taken, but
A decision taken by people.
The other option was we went to Galway and we're still on the way back now.
there was no rolling pin.
Order it from Amazon, it will arrive next week.
Oh yeah, there was no rolling pin.
There's no rolling pin.
There was no rolling
No
pin.
rolling pin. No. We didn't have the cameras on, so we can prove
Yeah, there was no rolling pin.
it. So lunch is
Chicken hot pot.
chicken hot pot.
Yeah.
It's gonna. I'm cooking with you, right? Is that the plan?
no.
Do it by yourself.
We just made Lynn and Bao.
Okay, fine.
I
Good.
thought you'd done a new curry.
How long will
Yeah,
it
but
take?
the thing is that they are not wearing cameras, so I
Yeah.
have to do it for them.
Or somebody else can do it.
An hour.
They can
Okay.
instruct people.
Maybe a bit more because
It would actually be much more interesting if it's somebody who has no idea what they're doing.
Right.
You just have to give instructions.
Oh, if you're willing to have
Like,
it.
you can do it, right?
If you're willing to have tourists, we have plenty of food, right?
Ah, that's not good. Let's do it
What's the
again.
worst that can happen?
Yeah.
Famous last words.
Yes.
Just in case.
Your queries and get them out.
Now,
Yeah.
on camera.
On camera. Because it's gonna be the query is gonna be out before the day set comes out for this.
Yeah, okay.
So it's meta.
Yeah, but can I do it after lunch?
Okay. Are you cooking lunch now?
No, not now.
No, but you find some volunteers wearing cameras who have no idea. Never seen the recipe. and then that's much more interesting.
The important thing is that even the person who suggested the recipe doesn't know what he's doing.
That's even more interesting.
I needed to get more stuff this morning.
Yeah, that's right. So,
But you've made it before.
No.
No. Okay.
So nobody made it before because we actually
It's
don't know what
okay.
we're doing.
It's fine. Let's cook the ham as well.
Oh yeah, what's the ham for?
Sandwiches.
Okay, you can do that as a backup.
for the trip back.
For the trip back. Okay, great job. Okay, who are the two people who are doing the cleaning?
I can do it.
Lovely. You're the two people. Perfect. I'll go back to the laundry.
Copy, yeah.
We can. I
I will record you doing laundry
Yes.
as a second,
I will come.
because laundry is outside of cameras, right?
Laundry is in cameras.
It's in cameras. I think it's outside camera. So I'm gonna be the second camera observing
Where do I put this?
Carl.
Clean.
What you have to figure out how to do this, right? That's it.
Did you?
Is it finished?
It's showing red.
No, definitely not.
No, it's locked. It's locked. Yeah.
There's water inside.
Yes.
So I'm gonna go into here. So let's figure out how this works.
I think they put everything ready. Look to the light. You don't have that many.
Oh, it's front loaded. Heavy duty.
If this doesn't work, we're in trouble.
Temperature selector.
It's
It's gentle low. Yeah.
oh, it's off. Hang on.
But there might
It's a
be.
medium.
There might be a.
It's on. It should be on. Everything should be on.
No, there might be a switch here, right?
Yeah, but
It's on. It's on. If I press
right.
start, it should just work.
It is just working.
Can I have one? And I'm just doing my laundry there.
I just open, I think. Yeah.
Okay, that's easy.
And then probably
That should be the filter. It's clean.
this is clean enough. Yeah, it's clean
Okay,
enough.
very good. I'm going to do a white shirt wash as well. Maybe has white.
I have a white shirt,
Yes, I washed it.
I think.
I didn't bring enough shirts.
All right.
Okay, super news.
So.
All these old cappuccino. We forgot to put the.
You can almost start with.
Two, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 is.
guess they are big.
Well, no, sorry, it's deuce.
Yeah, we can check if
3,
it's facing there.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Jack, queen, king, ace. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Jack, queen, king, ace. 4.
What are you doing?
Solitaire, of a kind. 8, 9, Jack, queen, king, ace. 5, 6, 7, 8. Jack, queen, king, ace. 5, 6. It failed.
We don't know where we put stuff. Oh yeah, we have.
Man, this is a freezing card.
Yes, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Jack, king. 2, 3, 4, 6, 10. Jack,
Oh, did I have camera still on?
queen, king. Ace, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9.
You want to play the Vietnamese
10.
card game?
Yes, I want to do this.
It's a bit complicated, but it's very
Okay.
interesting.
Alright, tell me
Yeah, the rule is a
rules.
bit complicated.
White clothes washed.
So I put the shirt on the... But towels are not ready. I mean, it's spinning now, I think.
Yeah, for cooking. Roasting.
So I think the name is 13 or 2. I don't remember what's
Okay.
the English name.
Okay,
But you start with firm 13 card.
okay.
So let me go for this because we have for 13 in total. We're not missing any.
That's a new deck.
So we have 13 card. Yes.
Okay.
So we go by turn.
Turn, okay.
Yeah. So, and the rule is quite similar to poker.
Okay,
You can go for one card,
okay,
and then if I go for this number 3, you have to go higher,
okay.
or at least equal. So if you have
Same suit or different suit?
doesn't
same-
matter. But if we have the order, so
Okay.
this the highest is the highest,
Okay,
and then come to the diamond,
okay. Then I could...
this and this. So let's say that we have on 3.
Okay,
Put this number 3, then you must be higher.
okay,
Can be 4, 5, 6. Doesn't matter about
Right.
the colors, or the same, but you have to be higher.
okay.
So this is the order. Diamond. How do you call this in English?
Clubs.
Clubs and then spade.
Spade is lowest?
Spade is lowest. Club and
Okay.
Yeah. So that's in
Diamonds, hearts.
the- Yes. So.
Okay,
Or you can go by a pair,
okay,
or you can go continuously. Like
Okay.
spread
okay.
from 3. Like let's say for example like.
Right.
Let me see. Yes. 5, 6, and 7.
Okay,
Or 5, 6, 7, 8.
right.
And if I go here, you must go exactly 4 card, and must be higher than me.
So you do this and then I have to do 4.
Yes. Or you say you skip,
Okay,
and then I keep going.
okay. But now I could go 4 cards and could be any cards as long as I'm following the rule of higher.
Yes. The higher, the biggest should be higher.
So I can go like 9,
10.
10, another 10.
No, not 10. Cannot hear. No. In this case, I'm sorry. Yeah, I expect.
Okay,
It should be Jack and then Queen.
okay. But can I start in a different? Can I do? Does it have to be higher than yours?
Yes, you must be higher than me, or you skip,
Okay.
or you must skip.
All right, and that means I
You
skip.
can put everything on. Yeah.
Yeah, I skip now. So yes, okay. And then we should turn our cameras down so we can actually see the cards while you're playing. Turn your camera down
Yeah,
so
you don't
you
have
can.
anything higher.
Yeah. Well, I not enough, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's the simple things.
So what happens now? Did you win or?
No.
Or
the guy who own the car is win that game.
okay.
So let's say if I own up my 13 car, I'm won.
Okay.
Something left.
Okay.
you lose.
Okay.
But
So it now means you just played 4 cards
yes.
and you got rid of them, and so
then
now you have the advantage, right?
Yeah, you can say you skip, and then I can go next maybe like this.
Okay.
Yes.
And now I have to do.
You have 5 bear, bigger than mine. For example,
Okay.
yes.
So for example, this one.
And then I can go for, let's say, this.
And now I can do this.
Yes. And then I don't have anything, so I have to say skip it.
So because you have no
Nothing.
sequence or.
Yeah.
Oh, because it's.
You're high. I don't have anything bigger.
Okay.
Yes. I have to skip it, and then you go next.
Oh, okay. But then okay, so now it's my turn to
You can choose whatever you want. You
choose
can do
whatever I
one
want.
card,
So
a pair.
so I, for example, can I do a longer sequence?
Yes, as long as you want.
So I can do 7, 8, 9, something like this.
Yeah, and then I have to say, I skip it.
Okay.
Yes, and then you go for this, and then,
And then I go for a
skip
pair,
it. Yes.
and then I can do a sequence.
Yes. Yes.
Ah, okay.
But wait,
But
it's
yes,
not a
yes.
symbol.
No, yeah.
The biggest quite rear is number 2.
The biggest one is number 2.
Yes.
Okay.
The smallest one is number 3.
Ah, okay.
And you cannot make, let's say, let me try. So you can go, where is the H? Oh, everything is here.
Ace.
Yeah. So you can go like, this is the order,
Okay, yeah.
because this is increasing.
Yes.
But you cannot put the 2 here, so the 2 is split. So
Uh-huh.
2 will not belong to any sequence.
Okay.
You cannot put 2.
So
here.
2 has to be as a pair, or
Can be a pair, can be 3 of them, can be 1.
Right.
You cannot go into the split.
okay.
Yeah.
And so if I put down 2, you can put down 2. If
No, then I lost because this is the biggest.
Okay.
This is the biggest card, so we call like the pick.
Ah, I kind of know this game.
Yes.
Slip, something like that.
I don't know the English name. We come 13, we come 2 or something.
Okay.
We need to put in a bigger card, right?
Yes.
Ah, and that's the biggest.
Yes.
Ah,
And then, so this is cannot combine with anything.
Okay.
It's alone.
Okay.
And then we move to the more complicated thing. So we have, so you can go only for 1 pair
Mm-hmm.
at a time. Let's say this.
Yeah.
You don't have like, you cannot put these 2.
Okay.
But if you have 3 bears in a row, so let's say you have this.
We have 2 packages of chicken that have to go today.
So if I have 3 bears in a row, so 8,
Yeah.
9, 10.
Yeah.
Let's say I put this, and then this is bigger, so you
Yeah.
put this. Then 3 bears in a row is bigger than number 2.
Uh-huh.
oh, you do that too?
Yeah. So then I can beat you here.
Okay.
And then you must, in this case, you cannot put anything number 2 anymore. You have to find 3 bears in a row bigger than this.
Okay. Oh my god. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Wait, so let's say but if someone played us, you can play that.
Yes.
Can you do that?
No, that is weaker, or not belong to the sequence. Because this is the sequence of every single card.
Right.
Yes.
But then why are these?
Because that's the rule of the game. So if you have 3 continuous number, 3 pairs, but continuous, like
Right.
8, 9, 10.
3 pairs, so
So,
and you
but
need
pairs are bigger than sequence.
No, when you go for 1 card,
Right.
and then 3
Yes.
pairs in a row can beat
Okay. Okay. Fair enough.
whatever
Yeah.
number, even
Yeah.
can beat this.
Yeah.
What we
Sure.
play in Thailand is that we use this instead, 3 of a kind.
Now 3 of a kind, running only 3 of a kind. So let's say if I go for 3 number 6, you must find 3 number 7, 3 8,
Yeah.
3 9, but you cannot anything.
I see.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different for.
Then there is another thing. So I must be in the sequence to play with you. So let's say if I go for, let's play, we say 3 people.
Yeah.
You play 8, she like 9,
Yeah.
and then I skip it.
Okay.
So I cannot join anymore until
Right.
I finish this. But if you have 4 bears in a row, you can jump no matter where you want.
4 pairs in a row.
Yes, let's
Okay.
say 7, 9, 10, and jack.
Okay.
Then you can jump no matter where you want. Even you can skip, then you jump. Now I want to be in.
Okay.
So you kind of do an ambush, and you jump in the middle of nowhere.
Okay.
What if you have 4 of a kind?
Yeah, 4 of a kind also beat. I will go to that. So 4 of a kind can beat any number 2,
Okay.
but cannot beat a pair of 2.
Right.
Really? Oh.
Yeah, pair 2 is very high.
Okay.
But 4 bear in a row can beat also a pair of 2.
Okay. Okay.
So can this be cut?
Only one.
So what can I beat?
Only 4 bears in a row.
See, it's a bit different.
Yes, and mainly that is the most complicated things done.
Okay.
But then we play into the point, so it's not every single game, but you keep playing.
Right. Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
Because the point is complicated.
Right.
So this is 1 point. If
Right.
you lost one, you lost 1 point.
Right.
If you win a game, you got, I don't remember, 2 or 3 points, depends on how we decide the rule. But if you lost one, black 2,
Okay.
you lose 1 point. If you lost one, red 2.